Watching the orange smoke vanish out of that sealed box in about 10 seconds flat is oddly satisfying to sit and watch, though I must be honest, I have 2 air purifiers in my home and I can't even describe the crud it pulls from the air. It is horrifying.
Did you really want to charge to use toilets on Ryanair planes? Yes or no?
Yes, but not because I want the money. We'll give the money away to charity. I want to get rid of we have 3 toilets. If I can get rid of the 2 toilets at the back of the planes, I can add 6 extra seats. With 6 extra seats, I can lower everybody's airfare by another 5% all year round.
Did you want to make some passengers stand on planes to fit more people in, a la the tube?
Yes.
How safe is that?
Very safe. Funny enough, what we wanted to do was to take out about the last 10 rows of seats. But wait for it. You take out the last 10 rows of seats and we guarantee that the stand down, we'd have a standing cabin and a seated cabin. The seats will be 25 euros, the standing cabin will be €1. I guarantee you we will fill the standing cabin first.
So the plan is to charge you to use the toilet, rip out the back seats and sell you a spot standing up for €1, and somehow that's him doing us a favor. That's the whole business model in one interview, really.
This Kenyan lawyer has sued Israel for crucifying Jesus. You see, this is Dola Indidis, and in 2007 he filed a lawsuit in the High Court of Nairobi claiming that the original trial of Jesus did not conform to the rule of law, even by the standards of that era. He argued, according to the Bible, that Jesus was questioned unfairly, never given a real chance to defend himself, and beaten and humiliated before he was even sentenced. And despite being a couple thousand years late, he says all of that is legal ground to have a retrial and to have Jesus' death sentence overturned. And this is no joke, this is a serious lawsuit. He even explicitly names multiple figures from the original biblical account as defendants, as well as the Republic of Italy and the State of Israel. But after the Kenyan courts rejected his lawsuit, he took it a step further by filing a petition with the International Criminal Court of Justice in 2013, 2017, and then again in 2021. Bro will not rest until he has justice for Jesus. Now ultimately, the ICJ, they kind of smacked this whole thing down, saying they have no jurisdiction and that it's theoretically impossible for us to consider this case. So the question is, should bro just give up or keep trying?
Every day, the world we live in just gets a little bit more weird, wouldn't you agree? But somehow, and I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but this is not the weirdest thing that we're going to cover today, not by a long shot.
Did you see what Flock Camera is doing now?
No, what's come out?
A lot of cops are resigning or forced to resign because they're speaking out against this Flock Camera system.
Why?
Something that just came out is that Flock cameras, not only do they do facial recognition, but they have this capability now for their AI to instantly link up to your Bluetooth in your car, whether it be your phone or your headphones, and then be able to track you anywhere.
That makes absolutely zero sense. We keep seeing more and more videos of these flock cameras falsely accusing people who are completely innocent, who have footage of them at other places.
All I'm saying is there's copper in there.
We're not saying go cut these things down.
No,
I'm just talking about the potential shortage of copper.
I heard a lot of people were buying those green laser pointers and it's frying the system. You guys shouldn't do that.
No, of course not. Because that would work. They would stop working if we did
It's illegal.
Yeah.
It's illegal and you should not do that.
Every camera that goes up gets sold to us as safety, and a year later you find out it's reading number plates, faces, and now apparently the Bluetooth in your car as well. So where does it actually stop? Hello and welcome back to another episode. If you're new here, my name is NEXOR and my job is to take you all down the rabbit hole with me, and it's not to find the bottom, it's to find the thread which resides in amongst all the noise and all the static, extract it and practice our discernment along the way. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen so far, well, stick around, there's a lot more of that coming up. But also, I'd ask that you maybe hit subscribe now if you're enjoying it so far. The goal is to actually make it to 200k subscribers by September 1st, I think we'll go for. If every single person who watches these episodes who isn't subscribed, they keep coming back. I mean, I can see it in the data. People keep returning. I have more returning viewers who are not subscribed than subscribed. Guys, make it easier for yourselves. Hit that subscription button now. Get it out of the way. It means you'll always be here at ground zero as soon as an episode drops. And it also means we'll hit that goal in like probably 2 episodes if you were all to do it, which would be insane. Let's prove to YouTube that, you know, this information is worth watching and consuming because, well, in my opinion it is. And the stats say that you think it is too. Cheers.
College dorm rooms in the SEC are now getting designed by interior designers. Freshman dorm rooms. Now think about your dorm room that you had as a freshman and compare it to this one at the University of Alabama. This is being done by a woman by the name of Mary Margaret Designs Dorm. And here's the thing, she's making, wait for this, $20,000 a room. She is raking it in. She's very Southern. She gives me Sandra Bullock vibes from The Blind Side. She left a photo of her son in this woman's dorm room, or this freshman's dorm room at Alabama. He plays football at LSU, and she's like, he's very cute. I don't know if she's playing matchmaker or something like that. That was the first thing she showed off. I don't think this girl knows that guy. She runs a brilliant business. She shows off the designs that she does. There's the mother of the student. She was Alpha Phi class of 2003 at University of Alabama. I just made that up. I have no idea. I think extensions and bleached blonde hair runs in the family. I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that. That your hair looks great, ma'am. Your hair looks great. It's going very viral on Twitter right now. The reaction on Twitter is amazing. My nightstand was a cinder block. I'm sure a lot of people have similar stories like that. Yeah, Mary Margaret Design probably works 2 months a year, 3 months a year, and just brings in more money than everybody watching this video. The ROI on this business is probably through the roof. Do not let private equity get involved with this, because they will be running wild.
I told you it was going to get weirder, and get weirder it did. And yes, before you go pinching yourself, this is real life. This is still the real world, and somewhere out there are college kids paying $20K for a room to be remodeled into some kind of dollhouse aesthetic. Saying it out loud makes me want to facepalm my skull through.
DJ more party.
Fine, the countryside's beautiful and the city can grind you down. Nobody's arguing with that. But to be fair, slapping the word brainwashed over a skyline where millions of people actually live is probably the kind of deep thought you have at about 17. They've put up a barrier because there's a spill, and the caption on the screen literally says there's a spill. Not everything behind a bit of plastic sheeting is a cover-up.
No way, bro. What is going on here, guys? Something's up. No! Look at him, guys. No, something is going on here, guys. I'm telling you right now, this is absolutely bizarre, bro. What in the world is going on at this Ellen DeGeneres show, bro? Shut up! Now, I know this was old, but this is absolutely wild, guys. Something is going on here. But nothing is going on here, guys. As you can see, they're having a good time. This is just a show. That's all that this is. Remember, Ellen likes to make jokes like when they scared the diddler with the clown. Remember? Something is up. Now that we see this show later on in life, we look at things differently. You know why? Because this video is for entertainment purposes only, guys. This is just a TV show. It's all good. Shout out to Ellen DeGeneres. Her show used to be so good. We miss Diddy, right? Something is up, guys. That episode was absolutely strange, allegedly. This is what people are saying. If you ask me, it was normal. I don't know what's going on in this show. Let me know if you know what's going on in this show. I'm out.
Good grief. It's a bloke narrating tension over a decade-old talk show clip at this point. It's a chat show, a popular one, a cult following one. Of course, something's up. I'm just going to take a moment to thank every person you see on screen here, because I have not once asked anyone to support what I do. Like, literally, I have never ever once asked for money. I will never ask for money. I'll never ask for donations or tips. I'm not even sure what they call them on YouTube, but none of those things. But you guys give them freely. And then these guys also joined freely. Again, unprovoked. I just showed you where the link was to join, and you guys went ahead and did it. So thank you so much, because it does offset some of the running costs. I know I've seen a few comments of people saying, like, what running costs? I don't know where you live in the world, but electricity is not free free, and neither are computer systems to edit down these videos and cameras and, you know, lighting. I mean, come on, like, look at this setup. It's not exactly just someone with a webcam. But look, that aside, they offset the cost, and it takes a lot of time to put these videos together every single day. I have no free time, but you know what? The financial, you know, levy that comes from the support that you grant me, I cannot thank you enough for it. It is greatly appreciated. Again, links down below if you would like to do it. I'm not asking you to, I do not expect you to, but you are infinitely appreciated if you do decide to. Now, enough from me rambling on. Let's crack on with the rest of this episode.
Warning, an area half the size of an entire state has already burned to the ground, and it's doubled its own speed in a single day. People were terrified after an entire side of a city was put under the highest evacuation level there is, with authorities going door to door telling people if they stayed, they were not coming out, with countless homes burnt to a crisp to the point that not even the bones of the building were left, and it is spreading fast. Eerie footage shows the fires being driven by 50 miles an hour wind, going from home to the next to even crossing through a river as if it was bent on getting anything and everything. And 3 neighborhoods burned down to nothing in a matter of hours, and it's still not contained. But it gets much darker. Some of these fires are man-made, with the man now facing 5 counts of first-degree arson, and detectives saying he admitted to setting 25 fires, telling them fire is powerful, beautiful, and whatever burns comes out reborn. And 2 others were also started by other people, with no one caught. And since the air is still hot, with the wind picking back up tomorrow, the chances of this spreading are high, with nearly 7 out of every 10 predictions on Kalshi already saying 2026 ends as the hottest year ever recorded.
This isn't just something happening in the United States either, it's literally everywhere right now. As for the 2026 prediction, I can get behind that one, especially after the hottest summer I've ever personally experienced in my time here on this planet.
This is what the drinking water now looks like next to that data center.
Them taking this water for their data center. We don't want.
It always comes back to the water in the end. They can build these things wherever they fancy, drink the reservoir dry, hand you a brown tap and a bigger bill every quarter, and we just sit there and absorb it like we always do with everything else. And where does that road end? Well, I'll tell you, nowhere good, because whoever controls the water controls everything downstream of it. And that's where I reckon this whole thing is quietly heading, if you can read between those lines.
Something is going on at this wrestling event, guys. Look at that guy up there with his eyes. Something is up, bro. Now, I don't know who he is. Maybe he's playing around, but people are saying that he glitched out. Look at this guy, bro. I ain't gonna front, bro. I'm scared, bro. I'm not sure who that guy was, guys. Maybe he was joking around. People are saying that they seen him at a wrestling event. People are also saying that he was glitched out, like he's not a real person, an NPC, but I don't believe that's a real person. He was playing around. Something is going on out here, guys, and I don't know who that guy is. Multiple people are saying expect more of that, right? People are saying that the people that you see at these events are probably not even real, allegedly. Those are real people enjoying the show. People are also saying that he's something that we don't think exists, but maybe it does. Shut up! Something is up over there, bro. And I don't know if that guy was playing around, but his eyes, something's up. It looked like he was rebooting or he was downloading or his battery died. That's just playing around, guys. Entertainment purposes only. That's somebody that was playing around because they seen that the camera was on them. There's nothing to worry about. Not sure what was going on with that dude. Let me know if you know what was going on with that dude. I'm out.
I'm just watching a guy get his 15 seconds of screen time. This is what he decided to do with that time. Did I miss something here?
So on Google, if you search "a boy is touching me," it will tell you that if you're being touched in a way that makes you feel unsafe or uncomfortable, you do not need to keep it a secret. Help is available right now through Childline or emergency services, right? However, if a girl is touching you inappropriately, it means that she likes you or is comfortable around you and is just being friendly. But this is the system that has been set up by society, which make men feel uncomfortable to speak up whenever like situations happen in regards to a woman. It's just crazy to think about. Like, it's actually crazy. Like, this is literally the systems that we build daily. And then the reason I'm even bringing this up is because we live in a society that villainizes men, right? And then the men are confused as to why women are so scared, why women pick the bear, all of these different things. But then this is what Google pushes out about men. Like, crazy.
2 AI overviews, one topic, but widely different results. You know the look by now, so I'll spare you the play-by-play.
Look at that face. A 7-foot-tall robot with a goat head and glowing eyes. Oh, and it can also carry a chainsaw. I'm sure nothing feels weird or demonic about this whatsoever. A company called Satris is building a robot called 3 Halves, and they're saying it's designed to keep people out of harm's way by going into places that are too dangerous for humans. Things like wildfires and collapsing buildings. Now just imagine being stuck in a wildfire and this thing shows up and says, "I'm here to save you." Because why does it need a goat head and horns? Well, people were asking the same question and the company responded with this. They said the horns have wide-angle cameras in them which allow us to see the positions of the legs and arms. But that still doesn't explain why it needs to look like that. Also, because of the size of the horns, the robot can't fit through standard American-sized doorways. Also, 3 Halves doesn't have any hands. It has a quick disconnect wrist system. It can swap out tools like a chainsaw or a drill. And I took this screenshot from their own website and it literally says this robot is more dangerous than it looks. But don't worry, because if you were ever in a situation where you need to stop it, they show you its weak points in case you need to do so. Now, why would this company put out a manual on how to stop it? At some point, you have to stop asking whether they could have designed it differently and start asking why they didn't. They expect people to trust AI and robots. Then they build a 7-foot-tall goat-headed machine with a chainsaw. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
A 7-foot goat-headed robot that carries a chainsaw sold to you as your rescue from a burning building. I know exactly how that sounds, but why give it that face at all? Somebody sat in a room and chose it deliberately. Design really does grass on people.
So this 10-year-old conducted an experiment that blew the minds of researchers everywhere and genuinely contributed to science, and it was all because he wanted to know if his butterflies still recognized him as a friend. It actually all started when Joe Nagai was just 8 back in 2022 and noticed one day that the butterflies he was raising would often flutter back towards him when he tried releasing them. Since he had always loved studying butterflies and already had hundreds of pages of handwritten notes about their behaviors, he was really curious whether it was possible that they actually recognized them from when he raised them as caterpillars, somehow keeping their memories. When Joe started looking online, he actually came across this researcher named Martha Weiss in the US who had proved a while back that moths really do keep their memories even after turning into goop in their cocoon phase. So despite living in Japan, Joe just instantly sent her a 4-page long handwritten letter as well as all the data he had collected over the years, explaining that he wanted to replicate her work with butterflies. Now, although Martha was flattered, she obviously didn't think a kid would be able to do this, so she just kindly recommended he go with a simpler experiment. But when Joe replied saying he'd already started and even criticized some of her methods, like using a chemical that could be dangerous to the caterpillars and giving them severe electric shocks, Martha realized he was serious and finally agreed to help him. With her support, Joe actually ended up producing a similar experiment but adapted it for butterflies, and he even improved several aspects, like refusing to give his caterpillars serious shocks since he considered them his friends, and replacing Martha's dangerous chemical smell with a nice lavender smell. The point was to basically give the caterpillars the smell and see if they would still know to avoid it when they became butterflies. And since 70% of his butterflies did end up avoiding that lavender smell, at age 10, Joe became the first person in the world to prove that butterflies really do retain their memories. But although most scientists would have been satisfied with that, Joe actually decided to take it a step further and test the offspring of his butterflies, and was shocked to realize that they also avoided the smell, suggesting that memories could even be passed down through generations, which was groundbreaking. Joe says that just made him fall in love with the cute caterpillars even harder, and he's now been doing more experiments to further prove his findings, even potentially in humans.
I really like this one. A 10-year-old proves butterflies keep their memories through the whole caterpillar to goo stage, then that it carries down to their offspring, which I find pretty impressive. More rigor than half the grown scientists he wrote to, actually.
So this picture has been floating around recently, and it typically does in regards to theories involving Earth. Many of you may already know this, but there are multiple theories that the Earth is not actually shaped or structured the way we've been taught growing up. The 3 main theories we have in contrast to the heliocentric model we currently have are flat Earth, which suggests that the Earth is completely flat with a firmament around it. Hollow Earth theory, which suggests that the Earth is actually hollow with its own unique lands and ecosystem inside. And bigger Earth theory, which suggests that the Earth is much bigger than what we've been told. As a side note, in each of these theories, Antarctica is not an ice continent at the bottom of our world, but instead an ice wall circling the continents that we live on. And just like you see in this picture here, if you were to make it past this ice wall, you'd run into continents and civilizations that you've never seen before. Now, this theory has so much information and clues behind it that I'd need multiple videos to actually go through it all. Leave a like if you want me to talk more about this.
Nope, I'm open-minded on plenty. Hollow Earth I'll happily leave in the maybe pile, but Flat Earth with the ice walls gets a fat no from me. Still no maths, no evidence, just a tidy render and a lot of confidence.
Video surfaced out of China, and it looks like their city is floating in the clouds.
It's just fog sitting on the skyline, a temperature inversion, not a city floating anywhere.
What do you think the biggest misconception of North Korea is?
When you think about North Korea, what is the first pop image?
Like a regiment.
Kim Jong-un, the rocket man, nuclear weapon. But actually, we need to see the people inside, and they need the freedom of movement, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and they are struggling and fighting for their freedom these days. From now on, when you think about North Korea, please think about Charles and I, because another Charles and I are still living in there.
One of the biggest misconceptions about North Korea is every single North Korean people are brainwashed and want to go to war with America. But that's not true. Because North Korean people use US dollars, they watch South Korean drama, they watch American movies, they actually know what K-pop is, they watch Squid Game, and recently they publicly children for watching Squid Game.
That is a defector explaining North Koreans aren't cartoon villains. They use dollars, they're watching the same dramas you are, worth holding on to, I'd say, when a whole country gets flattened into one bloke and a rocket. Real people behind that border, same as anywhere, remember that.
In 2013, a Steam map appeared online showing active players as green dots. Most of them were in the US, Europe, and India, as expected, but one dot caught everyone's attention, a single Steam user in North Korea. And that's where things got weird. In North Korea, most people can't even afford a computer, and using the open internet can get you in serious trouble. So people immediately started asking, who could this be? There are only a handful of people in North Korea with unrestricted internet access. Government officials, military leadership, and one family. The account spent most of its time playing Civilization and Hearts of Iron 4. People noticed these were not casual games. Civilization is about building empires, while Hearts of Iron 4 lets you control nations and start wars. Then the theory started to make sense. On days when Kim Jong-un disappeared from the media, that account suddenly became active. That's how the internet came up with the theory that whenever Kim takes a break from running the country, he logs into Hearts of Iron 4 and casually starts launching nukes.
And continuing our theme of North Korea, somewhere a Steam account just only wakes up when Kim goes quiet. Make of that what you will.
The jester is the smartest man in the room. On the surface, appearing as a foolish clown, a slave to the king, the butt of every joke, getting mocked and not taken seriously. But the jester was the only one allowed to tell the truth. In formal public settings like the royal court, the jester had free reign to say whatever he wants for the purpose of entertainment. That's his job. Meaning, he could talk about anything that was on his mind, things that everyone else was too afraid of voicing. He could mock the king, expose corruption and conspiracies that were very real under the guise of telling a joke. The mask of being the fool gave him the ultimate freedom to speak the truth. Peasants would get thrown to jail. The king would never dare expose corruption to his own subjects. And other high-ranking noblemen, well, they had jobs they wanted to keep. During the Middle Ages, the jester's role was to provide entertainment and lighten the load of the severity of situations, even if it meant revealing the truth behind it. People lower their guard around lightheartedness they don't deem a threat, and become more open with sharing personal insights around them as well. The jester not only could say the most ridiculous and incriminating statements and oftentimes expose the most disturbing truths, but they also had the deepest insider intel from the king and his closest circles due to his harmless external nature. It didn't matter if the jester knew that tax collectors were stealing money from the poor. He's just a jester. No one would believe him. Of course, they didn't have complete immunity. The king could execute them if they ever went too far. But if they played their cards just right, this combination of insider intel and ability to speak freely could influence the course of politics, power, and society as a whole. One such jester made a joke during a drought drought that taxes were so high even the rain wouldn't come, which the king liked so much he lowered the taxes, and coincidentally it rained shortly after. Or the world famous jester Stanchik in 16th century Poland, known for his sharp wit and deep political insight. He used this privilege of the fool to critique the decisions of the monarchy and gain deep trust with the nobility, serving under the reign of 3 different kings, attaining the unique position as something more of a philosopher critic during the Polish Renaissance, knowing the truth of the world around him, while the king and his cohorts dance and celebrate in the royal ball behind him. But the world actually rewards jesters for taking risks, doing and saying things that everyone else is too afraid to speak up about in exchange for recognition and influence, risking looking stupid and getting mocked by the brainwashed masses for speaking the truth, no matter how ridiculous or harsh it may be. So pretending to be the fool can also be the smartest move on the chessboard to make. Hey, for entertainment purposes only, remember?
Court fool got away with saying things that would have hanged anyone else, mocked the king, named the corruption, wrap it up as a joke, and nobody could pin it on him. And that is actually the bit which I'm kind of like bouncing around in my head right now, because it's exactly how the show still runs. The stuff that matters gets said as entertainment, everyone laughs, and the why behind it, or rather what it hides, walks straight past while people argue the what. So who's really the fool here? I don't know what a siren head is, but that is the biggest bugle I've ever seen.
There are some crazy things happening in the world right now that you might not have actually heard. There's a company who's building what they call a pet drone to take care of all of the bugs and mosquitoes that are flying around in your house or outside. This would apparently just be $50 a month and would guard your house 24/7. This is a video of their first ever air-to-air kill with their drone. A Wall Street Journal investigation reviewed over 1,000 creator videos that promoted a popular prediction marketing website that I won't name. Not one bet that any of these 1,000 creators made in their videos were real. The prediction market website actually built fake copies of its own website and then paid these creators $2,000 to $3,000 a month to film staged wins. And then they told them not to disclose the deal, and then a marketing firm attached spread this to over 140 million views. All of these bets that were shown as wins, if actually shown the correct numbers, would have lost almost $200,000 in total from the real platform. I'm a Dorian, follow to stay in the loop.
People still don't think there are paid creators who say and do exactly as they're told. Something I myself actually get accused of a lot. Couldn't be further from the truth, I can tell you that, but hey, what can I do? By saying that, you guys will still accuse me anyway, so it's a catch-22.
If you really want to tap into some stuff, get up at 4 o'clock, and that's when you're most creative. So even if you got some problems, and you're trying to figure and you need some kind of thing, get up at 4 o'clock and think about it. And you'll tap into it and bring you.
I'll give him the early hours thing. 4 in the morning is quiet, you know, and your head's clear before the world starts pulling it apart. Whether that's tapping into something mystical or maybe just nobody texting you back, yeah, I couldn't tell you.
A person who is a slave to their bodily desires lives in hell, associated with the physical world. A person who allows their spirit's true will to control their mind and body lives in heaven, because they're not controlled by the cravings of the body.
Could this be why there is a concerted effort to trap us in some kind of physical addiction, whatever that may be? Sounds plausible to me. I don't think that's aliens myself. Either way, a weird shape on a cave wall doesn't automatically mean spaceship. It doesn't automatically mean it's real either. Who's to say it wasn't put there in post, you know? And what I mean by post, I mean someone discovered the cave art and then added some, you know, embellishments. I'll just say that much. I mean, it's possible, right?
The government have just announced tax per mile. That is where you're taxed for every mile that you drive, showing that what used to be a conspiracy theory has turned true.
Well, pay per mile has finally turned up here in the UK, and the clip's calling it a conspiracy come true. It's not much of a conspiracy when they put it on the government website, you know? Tax the driving now, tax the standing still next, I guess. Same as ever, it only ever moves in one direction.
But what did they show you in the opening ceremony of the FIFA Cup that you didn't pay any attention to?
Welcome to the USA.
Let me show you what happened to the Hollywood sign in that opening ceremony. Now, here's their Hollywood on the hills. They are showing you that the Hollywood sign is supposed to break apart from being shaken.
They ain't.
Now who's performing? Future. This is the future. If you look at the United States right there in the middle of the field, it's blue. Blue represents water. After Hollywood floats out the way, Route 66, historic Route 66, is on the move. Now, do you guys remember the eclipses that we had? And there was the Scarlet A that went across the United States, the path of totality. Here, take a look. How about this? To the placement of these famous places from the United States. The Statue of Liberty, the Golden Gate Bridge, the Brooklyn Bridge, the Space Needle. Look at where they are. Notice they are all in the blue, the water. Or did y'all forget about the Space Needle in this picture underwater? Golden Gate Bridge underwater, Brooklyn Bridge underwater, Lady Liberty underwater, the St. Louis Arch underwater. Did y'all forget?
Reading the apocalypse into a football opening ceremony is where some people get off the conspiracy train, but not us. We know too much.
It is because the bottom of the well is an untouched reservoir of natural resources.
Listen to Admiral Byrd talk about lands beyond the ice wall, or lands beyond the poles. He said lands as big as the United States that no man has ever seen. Then it goes on to talk about a large canyon in the ice that ships could sail through 400 yards wide, slowly closing by the day. That's the Morris Strait. That's the strait that William Morris sailed through to get to the lands beyond, way back after the Revolutionary War. Crazy stuff? Check it out.
Strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole, that there should be an area as big as that unexplored.
This is tremendous.
So there's a lot of adventure left down at the bottom of the world.
Right up to the ice barrier of the Ross Sea Shelf, behind which lay the Bay of Whales and Little America. The only entrance was through a miraculous canyon in the ice barrier. Narrow gaps no more than 400 yards wide and slowly closing every day. Through this, the ships disappear, one by one, creeping between giant jaws of ice that loom threateningly off either bow. A harmless threat, though, for all emerge without mishap into the Bay of Whales,
Antarctica is a wall wrapped around the edge of everything with hidden lands sitting past it. Bird really did talk about huge unexplored areas. That part's on record for sure, but that's a long way from a flat map and a barrier. There's plenty down there we still haven't seen, but none of that makes the world flat. And actually, on that note, I think I'm going to wrap this one up. So once again, my friends, we gathered around the rabbit hole. We went down it, not to find the bottom, but to actually find the thread, which, well, it basically lives in the static at this point. It doesn't reside there temporarily. It seems to be fully embedded in it, right? But our job is to extract it and practice our discernment along the way. And if that's something that you enjoyed today, let me know. Drop a like on the video. Tell me what you liked. Tell me what you want to see more of. Maybe tell me what you want to see less of. I'm open to feedback, you know. I do my very best to curate these episodes to be as interesting and captivating as possible. Try and broaden your awareness on what is being discussed right now, as well as finding some of the evergreen stuff, just in case you've got people who are just starting their journey. You know, I can't just provide to those which are already what we'll call enlightened, okay? But look, if you are one of those new people and you're here at this point, I hope I earned your subscription today. I would appreciate if you did subscribe. I mean, become a part of something bigger than just this channel and me. Obviously, I'm just a small cog in this entire thing, you know. But with that being said, the most important thing that you can all do for me is stay safe, stay well, and stay curious. Until next time.